Welcome everybody once again. So this is our third class for module 3. We are studying moment distribution method. So in the last class we have studied a problem. We saw how to analyze a 3-span continuous beam with fixed support. Today we are going to analyze a 3-span continuous beam with simple support or hinged support. And this is our example 2. Okay, so analysis of a 3-span continuous beam with simple or hinged support. So this is our given beam. Our given beam is A, B, C, D. So span AB is 6 meter long, span BC is 5 meter long, and span CD is also 5 meter long. Now the extreme supports, that is the end supports A and B are simple supports, and the supports B and C are simple supports, intermediate supports. Now in the span AB we have an UDL of 2 kilonewton per meter over the span AB. In the span BC we have a concentrated load of 5 kilonewton acting at a distance of 3 meter from B. And in the span CD, we have a concentrated load of 8 kilonewton acting at a distance of 2.5 meter from C. Now, the properties, that is, the moment of inertia of the members of this for the span AB, the moment of inertia I is I. For the span BC, the moment of inertia is 2I. And for the span CD, the moment of inertia I is given as I. So the member properties differ from span to span. Now, remember the end supports are also simple supports for this problem. In the case for fixed support or for simple supports, our first aim is to find the fixed end moments. So step 1, we will determine the fixed end supports. So you all know well how to find the fixed end moments. First of all, we will consider the span AB. So for the span AB, the fixed end moment MFAB. That means M means moment, F means fixed, A is the near end and B is the far end. So MFAB means the fixed end moment at A when the far end is B is equal to, it depends upon the type of loading and the span length. So MFAB is equal to minus WL square by 12. So substituting the values, we get minus 2 into L is 6. So 6 square divided by 12. We get it as minus 6 kilonewton meter. Now, MFBA will be equal to plus WL square by 12. So that is equal to plus 6 into plus 2 into 6 square by 12, we get it as 6 kilonewton meter. Now we will consider the span BC. So for the span BC, it has a concentrated load of 5 kilonewton at a distance of 3 meter from B. So MFBC will be equal to minus WAB square by L square. So it is W is 5 here, A is 3 meter and B is 2 meter. So minus 5 into 3 into 2 square divided by 5 square. So that is equal to minus 2.4 kilonewton meter. Similarly, MFCB will be equal to plus WA square B by L square, that is equal to plus 5 into 3 square into 2 by 5 square. We get it as 3.6 kilonewton meter. Now we will consider the span CD. So for the span CD, MFCD is equal to, in the span CD, we have a concentrated load of 8 kilonewton acting at the center of the span. So, see in this formula, that is WAB square by L square, you can substitute A is equal to L by 2 and B equal to L by 2. We get WL by 8. Okay, because it is acting at the mid span, A will be equal to L by 2 and B will be equal to L by 2. So, for the span CD, we have a concentrated load at the mid span. So, our fixed end moment becomes MF CD is equal to minus WL by 8, because you substitute A is equal to L by 2 and B equal to L by 2. So we get minus WL by 8. So that is equal to minus 8 into 5 by 8. That is minus 5 kilonewton meter. Similarly, MFDC will be equal to plus WL by 8. That is equal to plus 8 into 5 by 8. We get it as 5 kilonewton meter. So first step is over. Now, see, I have already told you why this is, when we take fixed end moments for a span, why it is negative at the left and positive at the right. Because near the supports, when we are assuming our supports as fixed supports, near the supports we will have negative bending moment. That means near the support we will have hogging. So that means when you are taking the section, the left anti-clockwise becomes positive, becomes negative, and the right clockwise becomes negative. That is the reason the left is anti-clockwise and the right is clockwise. So there plus and minus represents anti-clockwise and clockwise. Anti-clockwise is minus, clockwise is plus. Okay. Now we will move on to our second step. So second step is determination of distribution factor. So moment distribution method depends on the distribution factor. So how will we find the distribution factor? We have to find the distribution factor for every joints where more than one member acts. So here we have joints B and C where more than one member acts. So at joint B we have 2 members and at joint C we have 2 members. So we have to determine the distribution factor for joint B and for joint C. Now, so step 2 is distribution factor. Okay, so first of all, for distribution factors, we will write the joints. We have 2 joints B and C. So at B we have the members BA and BC, and at C we have the members CB and CD. So our joins are B and C. At B our members are, so we will write members. So our members at joint B are BA and BC, and at C our members are CB and CD. So we will write at joint B the members are BA and BC, and at C the members are CB and CD. Now we have to write the relative stiffness. See, we have already studied in our introduction class what is absolute stiffness and what is relative stiffness. Relative stiffness we have studied in our second class, that is our previous class. So absolute stiffness, if the far end is hinged, it is 3 EI by L, and if the far end is fixed, it is 4 EI by L. So relating the absolute stiffness of these both, we get relative stiffness, which is very important, which will help you to solve your problem easily. So if the far end is fixed, the relative stiffness is taken as I by L, and if the far end is hinged, the relative stiffness is taken as 3 by 4 of I by L. See this, the concept I have told you in the previous class, in the second class, in the first part, okay, second class. So BA, you see the far end is hinged. So it is 3 by 4 of I by L. Far end is hinged. So 3 by 4 of I by L. I is I, L is 6 meter. So 3 by 4 of I by 6. Now for BC, when you consider the span BC, C is the far support and C is intermediate support. If the support is intermediate support, that has to be considered as fixed support. Intermediate support carry moments. Okay, so intermediate supports will be considered as fixed support. So considering C as fixed support, our relative stiffness is I by L. But I is equal to 2I for the span BC. So 2I and the span length is 5. So it is 2I by 5. Now for the member CB, for CB, B is intermediate support. So B will be treated as fixed support. So our relative stiffness is I by L. So I by L is equal to, so I for the span CB, I is 2I and L is 5. So it is 2I by 5. Now for the span CD, for the member CD, D is hinged support or fixed support. The far end, the extreme support is fixed support. That means the moment at D will be equal to 0. So D is fixed support. So it is I by L. Sorry, it is hinged support, simple support. So 3 by 4 into I by L, we get 3 by 4 into I by 5. I is I. So I by 5. So for BA, it is 3I by 24. Now we will take, here for CD it is 3I by 20. Now we will determine the sum of relative stiffness for every joint, at every joint. So that is sigma K or capital K. So capital K is equal to sigma K. Sigma small k. Summation of the relative stiffness at every joint. So at joint B, 3I by 24 plus 2I by 5, we get 63I by 120. Similarly, at joint C, it is 2I by 5 plus 3I by 20, we get 11I by 20. Now we can determine the distribution factor. So, distribution factor. So, distribution factor is equal to small k by capital K, that is relative stiffness by summation of the relative stiffness at that particular joint. So K by sigma K. So that is equal to, for BA, it is 3I by 24 divided by 63I by 120. We get, okay, so 3I by 24 divided by 63I by 120. We get the distribution factor for BA as 5 by 21. Similarly, for BC, it is 2I by 5 divided by 63I by 120. We get 16 by 21. Next, for CB, 2I by 5 divided by 11I by 20, we get 8 by 11. And for CD, 3I by 20 divided by 11I by 20, it is 3 by 11. Now, see, the summation of the distribution factor at each joint should be equal to 1. So, at B, 5 by 21 plus 16 by 21 equal to 1. At C, 8 by 11 plus 3 by 11 is equal to 1. Okay. So, second step is over. Now, we will move on to our third step. So, our third step is the moment distribution table. The third step is analysis of our beam using moment distribution. So, moment will be distributed. So, step 3, moment distribution table or moment distribution. So, as the name implies, the moment is distributed. So, first of all, we will write the joints. So, how many joints are here? Total joints A, B, C, D. We will write all the supports here, okay? Joints. We have A, B, C and D. Now we will write the members joining every joints. So in the joint A we have AB. In the joint B we have BA and BC. At joint C we have CB and CD. And at joint D we have DC. So we will write all the members. Okay. So for understanding, I will just draw the ABCD span here. So everywhere it is simply supported. So at the joint A, we have AB. At the joint B, we have BA and BC. At the joint C, we have CB and CD. And at a D, we have DC. So, see, at every joints where there are more than two members, where there are more than one member, you put a vertical line, you draw a horizontal line. Divide the members at B and at C. So, you see the distribution, that is the carryover or the moment distribution will be between A and B. In the span AB, it will be between A and B. In the span BC, it will be between B and C. And in the span CD, it will be between C and D. So now we will write the distribution factors. We have already determined our distribution factor. So for AB, the distribution factor is 5 bar. So there is no distribution factor for A. At B, the distribution factors are 5 by 21 and 16 by 21. For BA, 5 by 21 and for BC, it is 16 by 21. At joint C, for CB, the distribution factor is 8 by 11 and for CD, the distribution factor is 3 by 11. At DC, we do not have any distribution factor. That means the distribution factor is equal to 1. Okay. Now we will write the fixed end moment which we have determined in our first step. So fixed end moment are plus or minus 6, minus 6 plus 6, minus 2.4 plus 3.6, minus 5 and plus 5. So we'll write the values. It is minus 6. For AB, the fixed end moment is minus 6. For BA, the fixed end moment is plus 6. For BA, the fixed end moment is plus 6. For BC, the fixed end moment is minus 2.4. For CB, the fixed end moment is plus 3.6. For CD, it is minus 5. And for DC, it is plus 5. See now, while if the ends are fixed, if the ends A and D are fixed, we will go for carryover, we will go for balance and then carryover. Here, because the ends are simple supports, if at least one end is a simple support, if at least one extreme end is a simple support. Here you can see the end supports A is a simple support and end support D is also simple support. Okay. Now, at least if one end is a simple support, you have to do this step so that the moment at extreme hinged support will be transferred to the nearer support. So that is called release. You are releasing the joint A and D. Since the joints A and D are hinged, you are releasing the moments at A, because at A your moment will be equal to 0. So you are releasing A and you are giving it to B. Half will be carried to B. So release A and D and carry over to B and C. So how will we release the moment at A? So at A you have minus 6. So releasing A, you have to give plus 6. So when minus 6 moment is released, it will become plus 6. So releasing is plus 6. And as per our third proposition, half of the moment will be carried to the nearer support if the nearer support is fixed support. So B and C are intermediate support we will be considering as fixed support. So half of 6 will be transferred to the support B. So it is plus 3. So there is no release at B and C. So for the span BC there is no release. For the span CD, D is hinged support. So from D you have to release this plus 5 and you have to give half to C. So releasing plus 5, we give minus 5. And carrying it to C, it is minus 2.5. That is minus 5 divided by 2. So we get minus 2.5. So, see, this is your initial steps. Initial steps which you will not add for the final end moment. So you put a double line here. Okay, you put a double line. So if any one of the extreme ends are hinged support, you do this step. You release and then you put a double line. And now our analysis starts again. So as usual, see, first it was fixed end moments. Now we will start with initial end moments. Our moments are called initial end moments. Initial moments. So our initial moments at AB, it is 0. Minus 6 plus 6, 0. We don't have any initial moments. For BA, it is plus 6 plus 3. We have plus 9.00. For BC, we have minus 2.4. For CB, it is plus 3.6. For CD, it is minus 5 minus 2.5. So it is minus 7.5. And for DC, plus 5 minus 5, 0. Now we will start from here. Okay, we have to start from here. Initial moments. Now we will go for balancing. So you balance it. Here we don't have anything to balance, right? So 0 into, even if the distribution factor is 1, it is a 0. So at BA, so at B we have to balance it. So it is plus 9 minus 2.4 multiplied by 5 by 21. So plus 9 minus 2.4 multiplied by 5 by 21. You will get the value as plus 1.56. So if you are getting plus 1.56, for balancing it is minus 1.56. Now for BC it is plus 9 minus 2.4 multiplied by the distribution factor 16 by 21. So you get plus 5.04. So for balancing you have to give minus 5.04. Now for the joint C. Similarly, plus 3.6 minus 7.50 multiplied by 8 by 11, that is the distribution factor, 8 by 11, you will get minus 2.84. So balance you have to give plus 8.24. Similarly, for CD, it is plus 3.6 minus 7.50 multiplied by 3 by 11. You will get the value as minus 1.06. For balancing, you have to give plus 1.06. There is no moment for DC. So balancing is over. Now we will go for carry over. So from AB, so carry over and balancing. Okay. So for AB, A is fixed, A is simple support, so it cannot, there is no moment for carrying. From B, it cannot carry to A because A is hinged support. Moment will be carried only if the support is fixed. Otherwise, it will not carry. So from B, the moment cannot be carried to A. So in the span AB, between the span AB, there is no carryover. Now, for the between the span BC, the moment is carried from B to C and from C to B. Because B and C are intermediate supports, they are treated as fixed supports. So at B and C, in the span BC, it is carried. So from BC, half is carried to CB, and from CB, half is carried to BC. So minus 5.04 divided by 2, we get minus 2.52. Similarly, plus 2.84 divided by 2, we get 1.42. Now, CD, from CD cannot transfer to DC because it is hinged support. So from DC, there is no moment. So that's all. Okay. So all the remaining places, there are no moments. There is no carryover moments. So while balancing, as usual, it is plus 1.42. 0 plus 1.42 multiplied by 5 by 21. We get plus 0.34. So balancing, it is 0, sorry. Okay, it is plus 0.34. So it is minus 0.34. Minus 0.34. Similarly, 0 plus 1.42 multiplied by 16 by 21, we get plus 1.08. So balancing, it is minus 1.08. Now at joint C, it is minus 2.52 multiplied by 8 by 11. So we get minus 1.83. So balancing, it is plus 1.83. And minus 2.52 multiplied by 3 by 11, we get minus 0.69. So balancing, it is plus 0.69. Okay. Now the next step, once again, it is carryover and balance. So there is no carryover in the span AB. For the span BC, the moments, half of the moments is carried. So 1.83 divided by 2, we get 0.92. And minus 1.08 divided by 2, we get minus 0.59. Now we will balance. So it is 0.92 multiplied by 5 by 21. We get plus 0.22. 0.92 multiplied by 5.21. We get plus 0.22. So balancing, it is minus 0.22. Similarly, 0.92 multiplied by 16 by 21, we get plus 0.7. So balancing it is minus 0.7. Now for joint C, it is minus 0.59 multiplied by 8 by 11. We get minus 0.4. So balancing it is plus 0.4. Minus 0.59 multiplied by 3 by 11. It is minus 0.15. So balancing it is plus 0.15. Now we will go for the next iteration. Again carryover and balancing. So there is no carryover in the span AB. For the span BC, half is carried. So 0.4 divided by 2 we get 0.2 plus 0.2. Minus 0.7 divided by 2 we get minus 0.35. So we don't have any other moments. So again balancing. There is no balancing here. Here the values are minus 0.05, minus 0.15, it is plus 0.25, plus 0.10 and no. See, balancing is as usual. Okay, so we will move fast. Next iteration, once again we will go for carryover and balancing. So there is no carryover in the span AB. For BC, half is carried. So we get plus 0.12 and minus 0.07. Okay, so balancing we get minus 0.03, minus 0.09, plus 0.05, plus 0.02, no moments. And we will do one more iteration. See, minimum you do 5 iteration. If you don't have time for the examination, you can stop with the 3 iterations. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We will do one more for improving our accuracy. See, more the iteration, your accuracy will be more. So carryover and balancing. There is no carryover in AB. For BC, half is carried. So it is plus 0.02, minus 0.05. And there is no carryover in CD. So balancing, it is minus 0.01, minus 0.01, minus plus 0.003 plus 0.02. So now we will stop our iteration. See, the number of iteration is left to you. We will find the final moments. Now you should be very careful. See, when you had fixed ends, you started from the fixed end moment. Now since the ends are symbol supported, you have to omit this first part, that is from the double line. You have to consider, you have to add the moments from the double line. So at the end A, it is 0. We do not have any moments, right? Now at joint D, for BA, it is plus 9, minus 1.56, minus 0.34, minus 0.22, minus 0.05, minus 0.03, minus 0.01. So summing up, adding every values you get plus 6.79. Now for BC, minus 2.4, minus 5.04. See, avoid this, okay? That is not needed for us. We have to start below the double line. So it is minus 2.4. Start from the initial moments. So add minus 2.4, minus 5.04, add everything, we get minus 6.79. Similarly, for CB we get plus 5.46, for CD we get minus 5.46, and at D it is 0. So this is our final moments. Now for the exam point of view, we will write these final moments separately. That will be expected from you, and you will have marks also for that. So our step 4, we will write the final end moments. That is our step 4. Okay. So step 4, we will write the final end moments. Final moments. So our final moments are moment AB, moment BA, moment BC, moment CB, moment CD, and moment DC. So now AB is equal to, we don't have any moments, so 0. BA is plus 6.79 kilonewton meter. For BC it is minus 6.79 kilonewton meter. For MCB is plus 5.46 kilonewton meter. MCD is minus 5.46 kilonewton meter. And for DC it is 0. So see, at B, the summation of moment is equal to 0. At C, the summation of the moments is equal to 0. One is clockwise, another is anti-clockwise. Right? So that is the meaning of that. Now, we will go for the next step 5. We will find the simple beam moments in order to draw our bending moment diagram. So our simple beam moments are, first we will consider the span AB. So for the span AB, it has a UDL of 2 kilonewton per meter and the span length is 6 meter. So we know since it is an UDL, the maximum bending moment will lie at the midspan, and it is a parabola, and M max will be equal to WL square by 8, that is 2 into 6 square divided by 8. We get 9 kilonewton meter. Now for the span BC, our M max will be equal to, so BC, the span length is 5 meter. We have a concentrated load of 5 kilonewton acting at a distance of 3 meter from B. So maximum moment will act at the point where the concentrated load acts, and that is equal to WAB by L. So 5 into 3 into 2 divided by 5, we get 6 kilonewton meter. Now for the span CD, CD is 5 meter span length. A concentrated load of 8 kilonewton is acting at the middle of the span. So span length is 5 meter. So M max is equal to WL by 4. You can substitute WAB by L also. That means your A is L by 2 and B is L by 2. You substitute, you will get WL by 4. So it is 8 into 5 by 4. We get 10 kilonewton meter. Now we can draw our bending moment diagram. Okay. So for drawing the bending moment diagram, so we will draw the span ABCD. We will draw the beam, continuous beam ABCD. So first of all, we will draw the simple beam moment diagram. So for AB, it is a parabola and the magnitude is 9 kilonewton meter. So the magnitude is at the center, it is 9 kilonewton meter. For the span BC, the maximum magnitude is a 6 kilonewton meter that will lie at the point where the concentrated load acts. So these are straight lines, so it is 6 kilonewton meter. For the span CD, the maximum magnitude is 10 kilonewton meter. The max straight lines, okay, draw it as a straight line. 10 kilonewton meter. Okay, so simple beam moment diagram is over. Now we will draw the final moments, that is final support moments. Final moments at the supports. It is 0 plus 6 plus or minus 6.79 at B plus or minus 5.46 at C. Okay. So it is 0 at A, plus 6.79 at B, plus 5 point, sorry, not plus, plus or minus 5.46 at C. Okay, that means C plus or minus, right? So here it is, see, drawing the, here it is plus, minus, minus and plus. That means for A, B, C, D, for the region A, B, C, D, near the supports, intermediate supports B and C, we have hogging moments. That is negative moments. And since the end supports are simple supports, near the end supports we have positive sagging moment. So now, we will mark the positive moments and the negative moments. So this portion, these portions you have positive moments. That is in the span AD, up to these spans you have positive moments, and now these spans you have negative moments. The intermediate you have negative moments. So now we will draw the deflection diagram. So while drawing the deflection diagram, we will mark the point of contraflexure now. So A, B, C, D, everywhere it is a simple supports. We will draw the point of contraflexure. So our point of contraflexure is here. That is change from plus to minus. Then from minus to plus. So plus to minus and minus to plus. So it is here. So how will we draw our deflection diagram? It will be like this. So this way your continuous beam deflect. So this is your deflection diagram, and this is your bending moment diagram. If you need to find shear forces, you can use your static equilibrium conditions as we have studied in your first module. So use the same principle to find the shear force. Okay, so that's all for today. We will see the next problems in the next class. Thank you.